So this happened a couple weeks ago, but it's still interesting to discuss. Cuban women's volleyball team denied U.S. visa to compete in Puerto Rico. The Cuban women's national volleyball team was denied a chance to play in a tournament in Puerto Rico following the new visa restrictions imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. The Cuban Volleyball Federation said last week that the team, comprising 12 athletes, a referee, and several coaches, had their visa request denied and will be unable to attend the tournament later this month. Yeah, these are the people you want to be keeping out, right? The criminals, the criminals, the thieves, the rapists. Yeah, the Cuban Volleyball Federation. There's all the horrible organizations. We got to keep them out. They're invading us. They're invading. We got to keep them out. The disappointment is huge because I train every day. Every hour of training is leading up to this and dedicate myself to it. National team player Laura Suarez told the Associated Press. It's really disappointing not to be able to participate in the competition, which is what I've been preparing myself for. It seems insane to me that they wouldn't give an exemption. I think any self-respecting, any administration that was actually acting in good faith would, even if they implemented some sort of rule with backwards-ass reasoning that they want to restrict the visas and entrance from people from Cuba and these countries, anybody acting in good faith that got to that point, which I think would be pretty difficult too, but let's pretend that you are acting in good faith and your weird reasoning brings you to that point, you would provide an exemption for the Cuban volleyball team to come play in Puerto Rico, right? I mean, come on now. The idea that you wouldn't is purely xenophobic and purely racist. Cuba was scheduled to play in the Noreca Women's Final Four tournament in Manatí, Puerto Rico. The tournament includes Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Costa Rica, and it awards ranking points towards qualification for the Volleyball Nations League. We were focused on the competition because it's right there, said Diana Martinez, another player. Arriving at the embassy and being denied the visa affects us a lot because that competition gives us points to improve our ranking. The Cuban team's coach, Wilfredo Robinson, said the decision means his team is likely to miss out on the Nations League. The competition grants points for each match, and at the end, it all adds up, Robinson said. In September, we have another tournament, and if we get there needing to achieve 80 or 100 points, we are not going to be able to do it. The United States added Cuba to a list of 12 countries with restrictions for entering the U.S. or its territories, effective from early June. It includes nationals from Afghanistan, the Republic of Congo, Iran, Venezuela, and other nations. Denial of visas is part of a racist and xenophobic list of visa restrictions, Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez wrote on his Twitter account. In a message sent to the Associated Press, the U.S. Embassy in Cuba stated that, according to its privacy policies, it could not comment on specific cases, but that directives were being implemented to secure the borders and protect U.S. communities and citizens. Yeah, you're really protecting U.S. communities and citizens by not allowing the Cuban volleyball team to compete. Bro, we were in such danger. I literally could not sleep for the last month with the idea that the Cuban Federation volleyball team is going to compete in that tournament. I literally couldn't sleep. I was at home. I had my gun just like this, just ready. I was ready. The Cuban women's volleyball team, they better not come in my door or they're going to get 9 shots of lead right through them. The Cuban women's national team won back-to-back world championships in 1994 and 1998. It also won 3 Olympic gold medals in a row in Barcelona in 1992, Atlanta 1996, and Sydney 2000. So, you couldn't make the argument they weren't going to make it anyways. Not that that would be a valid argument in any serious person's mind, but, the argument that they wouldn't have made it anyway seems to not be true. If they were making they won the Olympic golds many, many times in a row. The U.S. measures are likely to impact many more Cuban athletes who depend on international competitions, including some on American soil to qualify for major championships and the next Olympics scheduled to be played in Los Angeles in 2028. Yeah, there's just no reasonable defense for this, man. This is insane. You could maybe come up with some good faith arguments for why you would want to restrict the visa entry for Cubans or whatever, but to not provide exemptions for the freaking women's national volleyball team is just it shows the intention of all of this, right? It shows the intent of all of this. it shows where their heads at. They're leaning much more towards the xenophobic, racist side of things rather than the good faith. We just want to keep the bad people out sort of thing. Just stupid and insane and just mean. It's just mean for no reason. Why just let the stupid volleyball players play volleyball? Come on, man. This is ridiculous.